All right.
You forgot to eat dinner?
No.
We brought olives.
We brought olives. Texting. Welcome to it's a Man Up Monday here in the SAC. Monday Night Football. Hey, you New Yorkers, you got a football team. A real one, I think.
Hopefully.
And they're in a Donnie tonight. They're gonna the dreaded Dallas Cowboys have come to town. And if there's anything I enjoy as much as watching a New York team lose, it's watching the Dallas Cowboys lose. But they're playing a New York team, so I have a conundrum. Okay, but here's the thing. Okay, they kick off in about 15, 20 minutes. We will be previewing that game. We will also have live updates throughout the evening. We've got a lot to talk about. Football recap. A lot of stuff happened yesterday in the NFL. Big injuries, some questionable calls, some interesting things going on. Brady versus Rodgers. Everybody was doing this on that, forgetting that Rodgers has no offense and Brady's is in the hospital. So I don't know what they were expecting, but the reality was
a boring game.
It was a boring game until the finish.
Yeah.
So, and I've heard some things around from all the experts about what happened with the delay game, also the crap. We'll get into that too. But hey, you know what? We were talking about this. We watched the games down at Johnny B's yesterday, and I got called out for always being right. I wish that were true. What I was alluding to was not that I thought the Colts were going to beat the Chiefs, because I did not pick that. No, I didn't pick that. Okay.
Hang on, hold on. He got called out because every time something happens and I go, oh, look at this, he goes, I told you. Even when he didn't tell me.
Actually, I did. Because what I was referring to, and it was on this show, was that how the AFC was deep. I said there were 12 good teams, and we agreed that even the teams that were bad, the four weren't even really that bad.
We agreed that the Colts were the most disappointing in the league,
and they must have hurt us because
the fact that they beat Kansas City.
The fact that they beat Kansas City,
and
did you see that? Did you see that the tiff
altercation?
Yeah, did you see that?
Yeah. Did you hear what it was about?
I did.
At halftime, right before halftime?
I did. I heard about it. I was curious what you thought about that.
I'm on Mahomes' side 100%.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, and I get I understand where Bieniemy was coming from.
So, how much time was left in the half?
Like 24 seconds.
Okay, and they were going to get the kickoff, probably get the ball to 25 with 20 seconds.
Yeah, assuming they put it through the end zone, don't give him a chance to bring it back.
So when you have Pat Mahomes, why not take two shots? Just to see if you get in field goal range.
Because it isn't about Patrick Mahomes. It's about who they don't have.
Tariq. But still, I mean,
here's
week
the thing.
one you throw 5 scores.
I get that. Here's the thing. You're in a tight game for whatever reason. Now, if you're the Chiefs coaching staff, you're like, what the hell? We're not. The Chiefs didn't bring their A game. Let's be clear here. They looked at the tape of these guys the first 2 weeks. They looked dreaded awful. We thought they looked. The whole world thought they looked awful. So the Chiefs look.
They just lost 24-0 to the Jags. That loss doesn't look as bad.
Now it doesn't, does it?
But I mean, it still looks bad.
It does look bad at the time because no one knows who the Jags are.
Right.
At least they didn't until yesterday. Now we have an idea of who they could be. Okay, so that doesn't look so bad anymore. But the reality is, okay, if you're I'm not disagreeing with what Patrick Mahomes was thinking, because that's why he's Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. That's part of what makes him great. He's like, I want to go. And you want your quarterback to think like that. You don't want a coward going, let's go take a knee and get the hell out of here. So I have no problem with that. To me, I thought both sides were right on this. I'm just saying that if you're looking at this from a coaching perspective, that game is tied. Okay, you're on the road, and you have the second half kickoff, which the Chiefs did.
Sure.
So you're like, look, let's go in and we're tied. We're lucky to be tied. We played like ass because they did. Okay, and let's regroup. Get the second, go down the field, and let's put these guys down. Because here's what can also happen. And as a coach, you have to think like this. They've already got. Yeah. What if something goes wrong? Yeah. Because what if they roll him out and he gets hit and he gets hurt? And then you're going, you know what everybody's talking about today? Why didn't you just kneel it down when you had the second half kickoff in a tie game? Did you need to go for this?
I don't think anybody would say that.
No. Oh, really?
Maybe Skip Bayless.
I think a lot of people, if Patrick Mahomes got hurt on that, if that had happened, I think you're wrong. I think a lot of people are like, you're tied. You have the second half kickoff. First of all, you played like crap. Cut your losses. You're lucky to be tied. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that's what I would have done.
Yeah.
I'm saying I understand it. And as a coach, you have to think like that.
Well, I mean, the thing I liked about it is when they asked Mahomes about it, he goes, yeah, he wanted to go back in the locker room and pick it up in the second half. Mm-hmm. I wanted to try for it, and that was the end of the conversation.
Yeah.
It wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, and that's what I love about Patrick Mahomes. He understood it.
Right.
But he's a competitor, and I don't think Patrick Mahomes was wrong for thinking what he was thinking, because in Mahomes' mind, we're playing like shit. We got to get something going here before the half.
We got 24 seconds. Let's
try and do something.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
I do, and as a competitor, I totally get that. But you got to think the long game here. And God forbid something happens.
In the long game.
God forbid something happens to him or Kelsey, or because of that, and then you lose him for a couple of weeks if something like that happens.
But I mean,
you have to think like
that could happen at the start of the second half.
I know it can, but you have to minimize those opportunities, especially when you're tied. You're not behind, and you have the. I know. I'm just saying. I'm telling you both sides of it.
I hear what you're saying, but I don't agree.
You don't have to agree with it. I'm just saying I understand. Me personally, I didn't have a problem with either side saying what they said, because I think they both had a point.
Did you hear what LaShawn McCoy tweeted about Eric Bieniemy?
No.
So he said,
I did not.
This is all Eric Bieniemy does is argue with players. He knows nothing about personnel and play calling or something like that. Now, he's obviously like a malcontent, I think.
Actually, he is a malcontent.
And he just hates Eric Bieniemy.
Well, when he was at KC,
kind of interesting.
Do you know who didn't get used?
Yeah, he never got used.
Yeah. So what do you think his stance is going to be on that? I know he's old, but the bottom line is that's the stance he's going to take.
It's still interesting that he said it.
It's predictable that he said it. Asante Samuel still has a boner for Bill Belichick, and he trashes him every chance he gets because Bill didn't give him his money. And maybe if you hadn't dropped that surefire interception that would have sealed 19-0, you might have got it, Asante, because that's why you didn't get it. And by the way, you never lived up to your billing in Philadelphia. I wonder if the Eagles could redo that contract, what the Eagles would do.
He was a good corner, though.
He wasn't worth the money they paid him, and the Eagles regretted it the day they did it because they never got what they thought they
He's
were
probably my favorite corner in the history of the NFL.
I can see why. He should have been your MVP, given the cupcake that Eli threw at him.
It wasn't that cut and dry.
Oh, really? If he catches it, it goes right through both hands.
Tips.
It was dude,
off the tips.
I've seen him catch one-handed interceptions. That was a gimme. The problem was he was looking to score a touchdown. If he just caught it and went down, it's over. That's all he had to do. And by the way, he would have gotten his money had he made that catch.
All right. Before we go down that route,
let's not go that route.
What's the next game? So,
that one,
Chiefs Colts was a complete surprise.
That was the shocker of the weekend. That was the shocker. Right? Shocker of the weekend. What other ones did you find? Well, the Jaguars, San Diego, LA. Yeah, well, that had to be number two.
The only reason that wasn't as much of a shock is because I know Herbert was not himself. Now, Herbert doesn't play D.
No, he doesn't.
But, and the fact that they scored, what did they score, 36?
And apparently, neither did the rest of the Chargers.
Was it 36-10?
It was 38-10.
God. I didn't get to watch a single play.
And that game was in Southern California. They were on the road, and they did that to them.
Yeah, that was strange.
That was the shocker. That was the other shocker of the weekend.
But, I don't know. Your quarterback's down. Maybe you're going into that game like shit. There's no way we're going to win.
But it should have been closer than that.
You're right. Yeah, I don't.
If Herbert doesn't play, okay, no harm, no foul. But you don't think they're going to get bit with? They still have a ton of weapons on that offense. They still have Eckler. They still have the two receivers, the tight end. They are loaded. And their defense, by the way.
I wonder if they wish they hadn't played Herbert now.
Well, did this help him? Definitely. I mean, he was there's 2 or 3 shots of him in the ground writhing in pain from hits he took during the game. And then when the game was decided, he's still in there, and the coach goes, "Well, we wanted to be in there." This is what I'm talking about. Okay, why is he still in there?
Perfect transition.
Why is he still in there in a 38-10 game when he took a shot? He took a shot because of rip car. He is not in that game.
That's such what a pity. Like to say, well, you're the coach.
You're the coach.
You are there.
You are the coach.
You make those decisions.
And this is why this goes back to the KC thing. Protect them from themselves. I love Mahomes' competitiveness, but look at what we're just talking about in the same damn division. This guy shouldn't have been out there at all. And look, I give him credit for manning up and trying to play. But second that thing got out of hand, that's where you have a coach have to think long game. Get him out of here. There's nothing more he can do today. We're down 4. Get him out of there.
But they obviously weren't thinking long game from the start, because I listened to a couple of like the NFL Todays on the radios. I was walking on Sunday morning, and there was a doctor saying he probably should not play this week.
He shouldn't have played at all.
He shouldn't play because the rotating of the torso.
When you're throwing, that's your whole rib cage.
It gives you pain.
Yes.
And why not just take another week? Aren't they? What was their record going in?
They were 1-1.
They were 1-1.
They were 1-1.
All right, so maybe that was a little scary for them, but I don't know. You'd think you could beat the Jags
at home
with your backup QB
with the weapons you still have
and that defense,
which they loaded up on in the offseason.
Yeah.
They got a number 1 corner from the Patriots. They got Khalil Mack, and then who was the safety they got was good too.
Don't they have one of the Bosa brothers too?
Yeah. The Bosa, yeah,
They have
Joey Bosa. So they
I mean, they're loaded.
They loaded up at all three levels because that was their weak spot last year. So look, that's a game where if you're in the locker room and you tell them before the game he's not playing, you go to your defensive coordinator, you go to that defensive meeting, you're going to win this game for us this weekend.
Right.
Because if we're going to be a Super Bowl team, you're going to have to win a few along the way anyway. Because at some point your defense has to be able to do that. Because some days your offense reaches back and doesn't have it, or you run into a defense like Tampa Bay or Buffalo when they're fully manned. And by the way, we'll get into the Buffalo-Miami game in a minute too. We're going to cover that one.
That's what I want to transition to because that one had another coach not making the right decision.
Not making the right decision, yes. But back to the San Diego thing. This dude, I kept saying, the one problem I have with the Chargers is the head coach. And all he did yesterday was reaffirm what I said.
What is his name again?
Stan. It starts with an S. Staniliski, whatever his name is.
Stefanski? No, that's not. Is it Stefanski?
I'll look right now.
I thought Stefanski was the Browns.
It might be. Hold on. It's something with an S.
Because remember the one guy in the crowd was like, Stefanski run the ball.
Whatever he is. Stefanski run the ball.
Sure,
yeah. I mean, he, hold on.
Brandon Staley.
All right, Staley. All right, listen. Brandon Staley, you need to take your head out of your ass. Because honestly, between all those stupid fourth downs you went for last year that cost your team a playoff berth, okay, you're at home, you loaded up with all these defensive players to make your defense better. As a coach, when you know that your franchise, your meal ticket has got rib issues, and you're playing at home against the Jaguars.
In a 17-game series.
In a 17-game season, this is where you got to go to your defense on Monday and go, look, I'm telling you right now, we're not playing him this week. And you need to set that tone on Monday. So the defense is in their head. Look, and by the way, you need to pop in the film of this Jaguars team because the week before they looked impressive. They did, okay? Yeah. And even in the game they lost, they looked impressive. So anyone who thought that they looked better. And I said to you before Sunday that I thought the Jaguars could win the AFC South. Before Sunday happened,
which now looks
even more like it could happen because they have running backs. That I'll tell you what, getting that coach who's a former Peterson was the best thing for Lawrence. Yeah. He looked. This is night and day.
Well, remember what's his face? Who did Peterson have before he got hurt? He's with Washington now.
He had Wentz, and Wentz was an MVP candidate until he got hurt.
Yeah,
he was, and then he won the Super Bowl with Nick Foles. And Nick Foles can't even get a job on that street sweeping it now. But Peterson, for at least 1 year, caught lightning in a bottle and got that guy to perform. Yeah. Trevor Lawrence has more talent than those two in his left finger. Okay? He really does. And he's looking like it now. Okay?
Threw 3 TDs?
He threw 3 and no interceptions. I think he was 28 of 39, 260. He was great yesterday. Efficient, made tough throws going left, going right. They've got a running game. And he's spreading the ball around too, which is what he did when he was at Clemson. So this dude, look at Trevor Lawrence started to look like everything that people thought he could be.
Yeah, okay, you hope so, because that'd be cool. To have Jacksonville good, why not?
The league is better when you got Florida football and you got Tampa Bay. Hey, I'll tell you what, I'd love to be in Florida right now. Look at it, Tampa, Jacksonville, and Miami. That'd be a nice place to be right now.
Yeah, let's talk about Miami.
Let's talk about Miami and Buffalo. We all thought Buffalo was gonna win. It was gonna be. Yeah, I thought Miami would hang with them for a while, but then eventually Buffalo. Now, of course, at the time of our taping, neither him nor I knew Buffalo was going to have 6 starters out on defense, but the defense still held them to 21 points. So this wasn't about the defense of Buffalo.
No, it wasn't.
It was about the defense of Miami. Yes. That was the difference in the game.
But here's the craziest thing, and I don't have the exact stats, but I've been listening to people talk about it.
Yeah,
Buffalo had something like 500 yards of total offense.
They had 90 offensive plays, and they had the ball for over 41 minutes.
So Miami had the ball for less than 20 minutes.
Yeah.
They had 200 yards of total offense.
Yeah.
How?
They had the butt punt. They had the butt punt.
Buffalo, to me, lost this game.
They did lose it.
Because you cannot have that much yards of offense
and get 19 points.
Yeah, it's just...
With that offense?
It's insane.
With that offense.
Yeah.
No, they dropped the ball. And the Buffalo, you've seen the video of the Buffalo guy in the booth who trashed everything.
Oh, my God.
That was hysterical. That was by the way, meltdown of the week. He's getting it, right? That was good.
I was watching that. We were at Sal's.
Yeah.
And I just saw somebody slamming the glass.
Oh, he lost his
slamming
shit.
The Surface Pro.
He broke everything.
I was like, what just happened there?
They lost to the Miami Dolphins.
Well,
And to your point, they had 90 offensive plays.
And so you can't even really say, oh, well, both our starting corners were out. Yeah,
no, you had the ball. You did exactly what you needed to do, given how beat up your defense. You took the ball away from the Dolphin offense.
Yeah.
Buffalo's defense didn't lose this game. No. Buffalo's offense lost this game. And the guy slamming the shit down, he lost this game, okay, because whatever the hell he was doing, how do you have 90 plays and 500 years of offense and you get 19 points?
Insane.
That's unbelievable.
Well, but Allen missed the throw.
He missed
on that fourth down.
He skipped rocks.
Yes,
he skipped. That was a terrible throw, and he knew it the second he threw it.
First of all, it was late.
Yeah, it was late.
And because it was late, the guy was farther, and the throw ended up on the ground.
It didn't even get to the goal line.
Yeah, I mean
it skipped at the 2-yard line.
Yeah.
No, look at and Josh Allen threw for 400 yards. I mean, but the bottom line is
so it's tough to blame him.
No, but the bottom line is the play calling in that game. Especially when they got to the red zone. Look, give Miami's defense credit because they made Buffalo go the length of the field. Nothing was quick. Buffalo didn't get any quick ones.
Yeah.
And they got him. They made him. And we've talked about this. I don't care how good an offense you are. This is what I was amazed about Brady. The Patriots were all about 13, 15 play drives consistently. It's hard to do a 13, 14, 15 score. To get 11 men on the same page for that many plays in a row is hard to do. And Miami was like, we're going to make them do it for 60 minutes. And even Buffalo couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And Miami knew it, and they did it, and they stayed in that game. And shit, Buffalo got 2 points off of a butt punt.
Miami tried to give that game away.
They did.
I mean,
they did.
When Josh Allen misses that throw, that would have given them the lead.
Yeah.
And then they get the ball on the 3-yard line or something, 4-yard line.
Yeah. I mean,
did they take two? Did they take two knees?
I think they.
Or did they run into the line?
I think they ran into the line because they were at a point where they couldn't back up.
Right, and then on third down, they tried to throw it, and it hits the ground too. So they stopped the clock.
They stopped the clock, which is not what you want to do.
Then they're freaking the gunner on special teams backs up when there is nowhere to go.
There's nowhere to go.
He probably shouldn't have even been in front of the kicker.
No, I mean that's just one of those.
Because the kicker needed more space.
Yeah, well, you're in the your foot is at the back line of the end zone.
When they lined up, I go, "How's he going to get this kickoff?"
That is the scariest place on planet Earth for a punter, and with good reason because you don't have the 15 yards that you normally have, and they're breathing down your neck.
Right.
And you've got to have guys in there in case somebody gets beat on the line of scrimmage to prevent them from coming clean. So you can't say, "Well, he can't be there." Oh, he's got to be there.
I know, but he was in the center.
He was right in the middle.
You got to.
You think the snap went through his legs.
Right. Like, I mean, because he went back like two steps. It wasn't
crazy.
A lot.
It was crazy.
And then,
it was crazy. No, I agree with you. What he should have done was gone forward rather than go backwards. Because you don't have 15. Yeah, you don't got 15 yards to backpedal a couple of steps. He ain't got that kind of room. No. So, there was a comedy of errors going on in that last sequence there. But the bottom line is Buffalo did lose this game because their offense – in terms of time of possession and plays, did what they were supposed to. But 19 points, and really 17 because 2 of them were on that safety. 17 points? Look, Miami's defense is good. It ain't that good.
Nah.
It's not that good. It's
got to be pretty good.
Well, I think Buffalo.
I mean, it did give up 500 yards.
Well, again, but this is where the bend but don't break thing.
Yeah, that's true. That's the Patriot way.
That's the Patriot way. I don't care what you do between the 20s. If I hold you to field goals, I got Tom Brady. Yeah, or I did. Okay, and
I got Tua.
I got Tua. If I hold you to field goals and I'm at home, I like my chances with Tua and those 2 wideouts.
Yeah.
Because I can score like this, and they can. And Buffalo, look, they were undermanned. They kept them. I mean, Miami had one big play in that game. The Waddle play. They had one big play. So to be as depleted as they were, Buffalo's D held up pretty damn good. They did on the road. They were in the game. They gave their offense a chance to win it, and their offense didn't get it.
But also
done.
Their offense stayed on the field a long time, so that helped their D out.
Of course it did. The offense did their job on that part, but you got to get points.
Yeah.
You got to at least get field goals.
Yeah.
You got to get something. You can't come away with. I think there was 3 or 4 positions where they got into the not the red zone, but inside the 35, and they came away with nothing. They came away with nothing. You can't. Yeah. And by the way, you're doing that. All you're doing is saying, "Hey, Uncle Mo, there's no room over here today. You might want to go sit over there."
Uncle Mo.
Okay? Because all you're doing is keeping that team in the game, and you can't leave a good team in the game. Because Miami is a good team.
Yeah.
And right now, they're one of 2 3-0 teams in this league. The other being the Philadelphia Eagles.
But hang on, before we move off of Miami, I wanted to bring up the Tua injury.
Oh, yes.
Because
been all over the, yes.
I think it's kind of controversial.
It is.
I'm sure everybody's seen it at this point. But
well, every talking meat puppet on ESPN.
Tua got thrown off the ground,
Yep.
landed on his back, and the back of his head smacked
off
on the
the
ground.
turf. And you saw that, and it looked like it hurt.
Oh, yeah. And he went to get up and he shook his head twice.
Oh, he was screwed up.
He shook his head twice,
Yeah.
so you know
Yeah.
he had a head injury.
Yeah.
Then after taking about 4 or 5 steps, he fell down to
Fell
his
to
knees.
one knee on the ground. He also completely down.
And then his teammates were kind of like, one guy put his hand on him like,
Yeah.
chill.
Yeah.
And they got him off the field. He didn't come back onto the field until after halftime, and they said, oh, it wasn't a head injury. He passed concussion protocol. He hurt his back earlier in the game, and his back was so loose that he fell. Come on, that's a lot. That's fake.
Now again, I've been listening to this all damn day from everybody and their mother who's on ESPN, NFL Network, and they all keep saying the same thing, but they're saying it with a smirk on their face. What they're saying is that on both sidelines, and this is supposedly is what happens at every NFL game, they have the concussion protocol in for every team. They have the thing under, they take you under the hoodie and all that other shit.
No, I think they took him right to the back.
Yeah, they took him right to the back because he could barely walk. Yeah. But like, so
I'm listening. I'm just pulling
that's
up
fine.
the game.
No, that's fine. So what everyone has been saying today, and again, they've been saying it with kind of like a little half smirk. Like, look, those guys are not the Miami Dolphin doctors, and they're not the Buffalo Bill doctors. Those guys are neutral. They are from the league. They are assigned from the league. None of those doctors that do that are because of this reason.
Right.
This is what all the Booger McFarland and all these other people, Marcus Spears, all of them, Ostrowski, all of them are saying this. So they're like, no, those guys are not the team doctors at that point. The guys that do that protocol, those are all assigned by the NFL. They're impartial for a reason because of what happened. So what they're trying to figure out is, okay, the validity. They're questioning the validity of it.
Of course.
But they're saying,
well, the NFLPA launched the investigation because they're talking about player safety.
Exactly, which they should be.
Yeah.
And so, again, the players are all saying, and these guys have all been on that sideline. I haven't, he hasn't. But they're saying those aren't team doctors. Those are NFL doctors.
So here's
on
what
the
kind of
concussion issue.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they have to be. Otherwise, the liability is crazy.
Exactly.
On the NFL.
So,
but my thing is this. So I listen to New York Sports Talk.
Sure.
And Boomer Esiason is on the show I listen to.
Oh, nice.
Great quarterback.
Yeah.
And he always has good takes.
Yeah, Boomer's good.
Boomer
knows his shit.
But he said when in the sports report they were like, yeah, and the NFLPA has launched an investigation. He said, well, what are they investigating? He's like, I mean, if he passes concussion protocol and the player says, oh yeah, I fell over because my back was hurting, what's there to investigate? And I kind of call bullshit on that because I'm like, if you see a guy smack his head on the ground and he has to shake the cobwebs out.
And then he stumbles falls.
That it's directly, like, you don't have to be a doctor. I don't care if you're a Miami Dolphin doctor.
Yeah.
I don't care if you saw that, his brain.
What is the eye test telling you?
His brain was hurt.
What is common sense telling you?
Right.
Yeah. So, and again, look, I don't, to me, that's why the investigation needs to be launched. Because they have to find out who made the call on this.
Well,
who made the call?
It sounds like they put it in the player's hands.
Well, if that was true,
what Boomer said happens, it's like,
if that was true, that's a mistake.
Then? Yeah,
that's a mistake.
The player will
always play in a game of that, and of course, all the players, Ryan Clark's, they're all that's what we do. But yeah, well, that's why the NFL had to have an $800 million payout because of all the times this happened in the past when there was no concussion protocol, and half of these guys now have either put a bullet in their head because of post, or they're mincemeat. They can't remember why they walked into a bathroom. Because they're going in there to go to the bathroom, and they can't remember why they walked in there.
And that's why you want Tua in there. Like, it would have sucked if he wasn't in there to help win the game. But in 20 years, if he commits suicide because he has CTE, you look back on moments like this and say, shit, maybe he shouldn't have been in there.
Junior Seau, no longer with us. I mean, I can keep, there's a list here of people that if you know. Okay,
and there's probably tons of people who've committed suicide that weren't pro athletes that had CTE because they played whatever.
So, to your point, look, this is the thing. We're going to see what this. I'm curious as to what this, because the thing about it is the NFL players is right to launch this investigation. They're all former players.
Yeah.
So what does that really mean? Because that just puts some validity on it. Well, it's the NFLPA.
Yeah.
It's not the NFL.
Well, it's like they're all part of the same business.
They're all part of the same brotherhood, too. And they're going to look in the mirror and go, what would you do? What would you have done? and they're all going to come up with the same fucking answer because that's what makes them football players.
Yeah.
And I love that about them, but I also hate it about them because you guys at some point it ain't about you anymore. Because a lot of you end up having wives and kids and everything else, and then one day they come home and you're in the with a gun in your hand. Yeah. And that's not an exaggeration because it's happened too many times to count. So
but that's why when Boomer said, well, if the player said his back hurt, that's why he fell over, what else are you supposed to do? It's like,
the guy pushed him.
No, that's
I
why.
saw why he got pushed over. He didn't fall over. He got pushed.
No, I'm talking about when he stood back up and stumbled.
Oh.
He's saying he stumbled because of his back, not because of a head injury. But when I see a guy shaking the cobwebs out after his head gets smacked, it's obvious it's about the head.
His back hit the ground first. But then you see what happens to his head.
Right.
You're like,
bam.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's where,
as someone who's had a few concussions, I've had a few. Okay.
And that's where that's where all like the motor functions and stuff is in the back. So like when you get hit here really hard, you could get hit really hard there and potentially be better than if you get hit in the back of your head. Yeah. It jogs that. It's going to tear.
Not only that, but that's where all your nerve endings are going right through you from there down through your spinal cord.
Vision is there.
Yeah, everything. So I mean, no, look I don't think that anything is going to come out of this. I think the NFLPA is going to find that there was no blah 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 blah, and they're going to move on.
And it is football. Like I get it.
Yeah.
I mean,
look,
you could literally break your neck on any play.
Look, I mean, there's a number of quarterbacks out there. Troy Aikman is another one that I heard talk about this today. I mean. So they've had concussions, Steve Young, they've all talked about it. So again, I'm for long term here, okay? But I also know the mentality of a football player. My father was one. I get it. So it's a fine line, but you have to think long term. And to Tom's point, at some point you have to look, common sense has to kick in here. And there's no way he was acting like that because he fell on his back.
Right.
There's no
well, no, they were saying, earlier in the game, on a sack, he hurt his back.
Maybe he did.
Right, but that's not why he stumbled.
Because why didn't he stumble sooner? If that's true, then why didn't that happen right after the play? Why did 30 minutes later, now he's stumbling because of that? Yeah. I doubt it. I doubt it. So it was questionable. It won't be the last time this comes up because it's going to happen again. It's football.
Update?
Yes.
Because I feel like we've talked about that plenty.
Yep.
Still 0-0. It appears that the Giants have just stopped the Cowboys in the red zone, are holding them to a field goal attempt. 2:17 left in the first.
So 0-0,
Fourth and goal from the New York Giant 8. Cooper Rush just had an incomplete pass.
So they're going to kick a field goal?
They're probably going to kick a field goal.
Okay, so it's 4th and 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
As far as the rest of the weekend goes, the Patriots did exactly what I thought they were going to do. It's funny.
That's a tough game for them.
I had this conversation with, we predicted the game, and I said the Pats had to do this to win, but I predicted Baltimore would win because Bill Belichick has not proven to me that he can stop a mobile quarterback, and he did nothing yesterday to quell that. He didn't do it yesterday either. But here's the problem.
Lamar Jackson is more than just a mobile quarterback. He's
not. But they've had trouble with other mobile quarterbacks too, not just him.
But
a guy of his caliber,
his mobility is nuts.
No, the problem is that with him, you have to spot him the entire game. You can't do it sporadically. Whenever they did it, they kept him in the pocket. The second they didn't do it, boom. Okay, and they have designed runs in their offense, so that's no secret for him. So they didn't handle those well either. Now, he only rushed 11 times, but he rushed 11 times for 107 yards and a touchdown. That's awful. That's awful coaching because you know he's going to run.
How many TDs did he throw for? 4?
He threw 4. Now, here's the other problem, and here's the other elephant in the room. And we need to discuss this because you can't have it both ways, you Bill Belichick scrotum scrubbers.
Do we need olives for this?
We might.
We might need olives for this.
I'm just going to reach over.
You got to see the amount of olive bottles in his.
This is what Bill Belichick does to me. The bottom line is this. When the Patriots were leading the league for basically 19 years, year after year, fewest turnovers committed by the offense, I heard more about how that was all coaching and a reflection on the coaching. And they stress all, which is all well and good. I'm not saying that's not true. But the second they have 8 turnovers in a 3-game stretch, now it's the players. What? Huh? I didn't have a drop of alcohol yesterday. You can't sell me on that shit. You can't sit there and laud Bill Belichick when they take care of the football and then when they're all over the place blame the players. Because here's the other problem with that argument, ladies and gentlemen. Who gets the players? Who's the GM? Who brings all these guys in? who is supposed to know I mean, the way people
That's a
talk
good
about
point.
Bill Belichick, you think that he's done a colonoscopy on every freaking guy that's in there. That's how well he knows them, supposedly. And yet, the ball is falling all over the damn
Think
place.
about how well he knew Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah, exactly. And that should have been the first red flag right there. He ignored the warning signs there. The bottom line is this, okay? You can't have it both ways. Either he's responsible for it or he's not responsible for it. Either way, okay, the bottom line is this. They've got 8 turnovers in 3 games, okay? 2 of those came in the red zone. The tight ends, who we talked about the other day, Jonnu Smith, 4 catches, 25 yards. He was targeted 4 times. Hunter Henry, 1 catch, 8 yards. He was targeted 1 time. None of those targets, ladies and gentlemen, happened in the red zone. Somebody in the Bill Belichick scrotum scrubbing fan club up there, explain that to me. Explain to me how 87.5 million. I'm gonna keep throwing this number out there until one of them makes the Pro Bowl or they're both cut. Or he's fired, whatever happens. Because how do you spend $87.5 million? You're playing Baltimore. You have a running game. You do. And when you get inside the 20, you are not going I formation, 2 tight end set where you can run or pass out of it. You have big men with talent on the outside and make Baltimore with that puny little set of backs, defensive backs, match up on these tight ends. Why was neither one of them targeted once in the red zone yesterday in a game they had to have? Why is Mac Jones throwing fade routes? You can guess.
It could be because, I don't know if this is the case, but it almost sounds like you have a bad defensive coordinator calling the plays, the offensive plays.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a possibility? Is that what's happening?
Who's in charge of the offensive coordinator?
No.
Appointed the offensive
I'm not taking this off of Bill.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, what a shitty decision to have a bad defensive coordinator be your offensive coordinator, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't get it.
No one gets it. Well, no one who's not a Bill Belichick disciple gets it. Okay. But the problem is now, okay, you are now 1-2, and Mac Jones is hurt. And Mac Jones is definitely not going to play this Sunday in Green Bay. That's a loss. Now you're 1-3 because I think you're going to beat Green Bay and Green Bay with him. So now you're going to lose because anybody here who's putting their faith in Brian Hoyer, you need to be committed right now. Straight jacket, throw away the key, put you in for, close the door, shut the little thing. In fact, don't even give you food for a month.
Who's behind Hoyer?
Does it matter?
I don't know.
Does
maybe
it matter?
Maybe they got like an athletic guy or something.
No, they don't. They got some guy Zigby, Zanby, Zoopy.
Oh, that's right, Zappy.
Zappy, Zippy, whatever.
Is it Zappy?
I don't know. I don't care. The guy sucks. Okay? Maybe I'll draft him in fantasy next year. Right, DJ? Oh, DJ. Maybe I'll pick him up. Yeah, anyway. Stidham, yeah. Where's that ass clown now? Yeah, anyway. Oh, he's sitting on the bench for an 0-3 Raiders team. If he even made the cut. But, so anyway, Bill Belichick, you are on the clock, mister. Okay? And I'm going to personally ride your ass out of Foxborough. Okay? Because I'm going to, every freaking time you screw up Mr. 71 and 81 without the GOAT, okay? And every time you spend money and it goes the wrong way. 71 and 81.
You always update the record.
Yes, I do. Because I want every one of these Bill Belichick scrotum scrubbers on their knees begging for forgiveness because they were wrong about this ass clown. He is nothing. He is an average defensive coordinator without him. And until he proves otherwise, that is what he is. And I've said to Sean Darcy and everybody else up there, he wins the Super Bowl without Tom Brady, I'll forgive him. All is forgiven. But until he does, nope. Nope. Okay? So I don't want to hear another thing about Bill Belichick until Bill Belichick actually goes out there, okay, and does something like right. Like either spends the money on actual real talent, not this BC level talent, because and the Boston media, to their credit, said this in the preseason. They're acting like Tom Brady is still there because Tom Brady has won Super Bowls with B and C level talent. Mac Jones, hey, newsflash, ain't Tom Brady. Okay, Aaron Rodgers, who has BC level talent, ain't Tom Brady. Okay, what do you do in Indianapolis? The only reason they beat Tampa was because Tampa was down to their 4th and 5th receivers, and when they did catch the ball, they were dropping it all over the field. Okay? And Brady still almost won that game yesterday. Okay? So give me a break. All right? So this is the thing. When you have a player like that, which is once in a century, Babe Ruth, okay, maybe Aaron Judge, there are guys like this, Barry Bonds. You don't let them walk out the door. Robert Pujols. You don't let Albert Pujols, Magic Johnson, you don't let them walk out the door. That's who Tom Brady is. That is the circle he runs in. Okay?
That's true.
And he never once asked to be the highest paid player in the world, which is delusional, because every other player like that doesn't take a penny less. Other than Tim Duncan is the one exception. The one guy. And he's Tim Duncan. Okay? So he beat Kobe and Shaq in their prime twice. Tim Duncan. All right. So anyway, my point is that I'm going to hold this over him. I will never get over it. For my wife who's in the back going, why won't you let it go? Okay. Because every time I have to sit there on Sunday and watch this shit, okay, I'm constantly reminded of it. Tough to let it go. And every 7 days, like getting kicked in the balls every 7 days. How do you?
At least it's not baseball. If it was baseball, it'd be every day.
Every day.
Every now and then. Every now and then you get a Monday or Thursday.
Well, if you're a diehard Red Sox fan, every time Mookie Betts hits another, aren't you getting kicked in the nuts every damn day if you're a diehard Red Sox fan? How's that
but you're
feel?
not even watching.
No, you're not, because you fall asleep. Thank God the games are 3 hours later, so you get to miss the freaking nightmare.
But at least they sent him out west.
Yeah, at least he went out there.
It's like letting Mike Trout go to the Angels.
Yeah. I mean, and
we'll
look,
never see him.
And look, and at some point, this is probably going to happen to him. Okay, a guy that he knows is an all-time great, and he's going to walk out the door.
I think the Mets are probably going to let DeGrom go next year.
And that would be stupid.
But
that would be stupid.
But I don't know, man. He's never healthy.
When he is healthy, he's worth it. And in baseball, you need him when? You need him in October.
No,
Just get to October. Get to October, and if he's there, I hope
he's healthy this October, because if he is, man, they're going to be good.
They are. They're a favorite, and they should be. Okay, so and the thing about this guy is, the good thing about this owner is he's not afraid to spend the money.
Oh, no.
So,
he's the richest owner in baseball.
Exactly.
He's worth like $12 billion.
And he's acting like it.
That's true.
And if you're a Met fan, that's what you want. Because the last thing you want to do is lose a guy to money, like the Red Sox lost Mookie Betts.
That sucks, losing a guy to money.
To money in a sport that has no salary cap.
Right.
And if you're a Red Sox fan, look at this from
especially when Mookie Betts seems like a good guy.
He's a great dude. He's not even a dick. Yeah, he was a dick.
That's what I'm saying. Why wouldn't you want him?
Why would you want to keep him around? He's young. He's not even in his prime yet. Yeah. Why would you? What is the downside of that contract? All they had to do was match the Dodgers' offer. All they had to do was match it, and he's still in Boston. And Kimbrel, the closer, who's now closing for the Dodgers, wasn't worth the $30 million. How's your closer now? Oh, you haven't had one in 4 years. So obviously he was worth it because you couldn't replace him. So this is, you don't. And again, I hope this doesn't happen to you, because I've seen you when this would be. Oh my God. Okay.
Well, I think it's. But I don't know that it could ever happen again to anyone because of.
It'll happen again.
But I'm just saying, because of the impact Tom Brady had on the game.
Oh, he's the GOAT.
And on sports.
It's different. He's a once in a.
You can argue he's
the
best athlete ever.
Yeah, you can make.
I'm not saying he is.
He's not.
Like,
you can. Yeah,
you could say
greatest football player ever.
You
can say that. Yeah, you can say that.
So
he owns every record in
right.
He got 7 fucking Super.
Yeah, he's been to
10 of them.
He's been to 10 Super Bowls.
And the 3 he lost, he could have won. He lost by 1 possession.
Yeah, he lost them on crazy shit. So to lose that guy, and I don't even know it was about money. It seems more like it was about ego.
It was totally about ego.
Worse.
It was totally about ego, and this is why I'm mad at Bill Belichick, because this is the guy who keeps preaching team, which means drop your ego at the door. Well, doesn't that apply to you too, Coach? Not you, though. Everybody else but you, Bill, has to check their ego at the door, but not you, Bill. You got to prove how great you are. Well, how's that working out, Bill?
Yeah, not good.
You're looking real good right now, ain't you? And hey, guess who's waiting for you out in that frozen tundra? Aaron. Okay, and the one guy who can go toe to toe with him is in Tampa.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
You thought he was done. Okay, and by the way, if Tom Brady had this talent, I got news for you. If those 2 tight ends are playing with Tom Brady, they both have 3 touchdowns by now. Each.
Yeah, of course.
Each. Because the second Matt Patricia opened his mouth, Tom Patricia would shove a sandwich in it and say, "Go sit down there and read the funny papers."
At worst, y'all would be 2-1.
At very worst.
At worst.
Very worst. And I got news for you. If you look, they'd have beat Miami with that.
That's
with that
what I'm
offense,
thinking. They probably would.
With those weapons, because here's the problem: the Patriots do have weapons. They've had 2 receivers in the past 2 weeks. Dear guys, go over 100 yards. 2 different guys in the last 2 weeks.
Well,
they've got 2 running backs. They've got 2 running backs who could each rush for 1,000 yards if they got the catch. They've got talent. It's not that he didn't get enough talent, but he's not using it the right way, and he's letting this freaking salami swilling. He's letting this clown, this Lou Albano lookalike, this has no business running.
Dom DeLuise. Dom DeLuise is running your offense.
Pick your fat man. Pick your fat funny man. I don't care who.
Tommy is always running your offense.
Tom, you would have figured this out by now. You would have looked at the payroll. All right, so he must be good. He's making $50 million. All right, so you two are pretty good, right? All right, we're gonna get you the ball. Okay, that's all it is.
Well,
okay?
you know what might make more sense is allow Mac Jones to, think and maybe make some adjustments, call some plays on his own, because Matt Patricia can't be better than Mac Jones at calling plays.
You've got two tight ends of this caliber, and they're not on the field together. Because think about it, when you go two tight end set, and because most teams don't have two tight ends like this.
Right.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
When you've got two guys like this, and you've got the burners you got on the outside, you can go single back and you can run them, and the defense has no idea what you're going to do. They have no idea what you're going to do, and you can dictate. This is not rocket science. Okay, if my father were alive today, he'd be screaming at why are they not in two tight end sets, single back, run pass option, and whatever the defense matches up in, then that dictates what play you call, and you have the personnel to do either or.
Right.
And in the red zone in particular.
But then you have to let you have to trust Mac Jones to, switch.
Mac Jones ran a very sophisticated, advanced offense at Alabama in the best fucking amateur league in the world. And he was 42 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and completed 77% of his passes. And you're going to tell me that he doesn't know who to get the ball to or couldn't figure it out?
They need to let him
They need to let him do it. And now he's hurt. And you better pray it's 1 week and not 3, because if it's 3, you're fucked. Okay? You are totally fucked. You're going to be 1-3. They are not beating Green Bay. No. They are not beating Green Bay this side. They're going to be 1-3. No way in hell. Okay? They're going to be 1-3. They have to go on a win streak after this. They go to 1-4. You can kiss it goodbye. You can kiss it goodbye. Because that conference
but
is
a high
loaded.
ankle sprain can be 4 to 6 sometimes.
It can be. All right, and this is the thing. They got to handle him with kid gloves right now and they got to find a way to manufacture a couple of wins. You might as well just forfeit Sunday. You ain't the only thing in your favor Sunday is that Aaron Rodgers still doesn't have anybody to throw to. Okay, that's the only thing. The only reason that you have there's a blip on the radar is because he has no one to throw to. Okay, if he did, don't even get on the plane. Don't even get on the plane because he'll wipe his ass with you. So the bottom line is you're going to be 1-3 when this game is over. Okay, and you have to start figuring out how you're going to get back in this thing. And it ain't going to be easy with Brian Hoyer for the next 3 or 4 weeks if that's the case, which is very likely. Because high ankles, sometimes it's better. I've done both. I've had a high ankle sprain. Sometimes it's better to break it.
I've heard that.
It's better because it heals quicker on a clean break.
The sprain
is just the high ankle sprain takes longer. It lingers. It takes longer to heal. He would have been better off breaking it. And I know I've done both. So that's the reality right now. So tonight, Giants. All right, it's 3-0 Dallas.
You want to just talk about
Let's
this
talk about
game?
this game. Yeah, why not? We got. This is looking like the Donnybrook we think it is. Look, I didn't think there was going to be a high-scoring game tonight because both offenses are anemic right now. They both have. They do. They have limited weapons. The weapons they have are good, but they don't have enough of each. Yeah. We're still trying to figure out who the Giants' second receiver is. Okay, we think they've got a 1. They don't know who the hell the 2 is. I don't really have a 2.
I mean, do they have a 1? Sterling Shepard a 1?
I don't know.
I think Sterling Shepard is a really good slot receiver. But if he's your number 1 wide receiver, that's tough.
I don't know.
Just kicked the field goal. Okay,
all right,
it's 3-3.
All right, so we're in the Donnie. We're in the second quarter.
It wasn't a bad drive for Danny Jones.
No. Dallas has a good defense.
They do.
They have good defense, so it's going to be tough.
That's a good point because freaking Micah Parsons is a problem.
Micah Parsons is one of the top 4 defensive players in all of football right now. Yeah. Somewhere between 2 and 4. I'm not putting anybody over Aaron Donald right now, but he's close.
What about T.J. Watt?
He's close too. I'm telling you, he's somewhere between 2 and 4.
T.J. Watt, Micah Parsons.
Aaron Donald's number 1, and then I don't know
who else is there.
I don't know. Von Miller. Jalen Ramsey. There's
a couple of
some
linebackers.
Tampa Bay's got
Winfield. Is it Winfield?
They've got White and Levante. Yeah,
White and Winfield. Are those the 2?
Shaq Mason. No, it's Shaq something.
Who are the linebackers?
Tampa has a slew of linebackers. But I mean,
they're
awesome. They're awesome, and they showed after the first 2 drives that Rodgers got nothing. And they even had the lineman, that 375-pound lineman, backing up in the coverage and knocked the balls in the goal and hit that guy so hard I thought he killed him. And
Levante David
is one of them. Devin White. Yeah.
I thought there was a Winfield or something.
Well, but those 2 are filthy nasty. So, the bottom line is Dallas has one of those dudes. And then they have Diggs in the secondary, who's one of the best safeties in.
Oh, that's right.
They got Diggs, too.
What is it, Trayvon?
Trayvon Diggs, who's Ohio State. Yeah. Ohio State. Creekball, Ohio State.
That's Stephon Diggs' younger brother.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, pretty crazy. That's a talented family,
to
say the least. This is going to be a Donnie tonight. It's going to be nip and tuck. Look, if you're a Giants fan, if not now, strong safety, and he's good too. Yeah. Tampa's D is loaded in. Unlike last year, it's healthy, like it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So the reality of it is, Dallas has a very good when they're healthy. That defense is tough, and Micah Parsons, you have to double team him. He should be getting double teamed on every single pass play. I don't care if you got to chip him with a running back, put a tight end over him to double. You cannot let him be. And Booger McFarland said this before him. He cannot be one-on-one left alone tonight. If he is, because they don't have the wideouts, they don't have guys that can win one-on-one quick enough yet, or at least we don't know who they are yet. If he is, then Danny Dimes might be carried off that field tonight. You cannot leave Micah Parsons one-on-one tonight. That's the key to the game. If Danny Dimes has time, the Giants can win. If he doesn't, no.
Let's see what the box score is saying so far. Okay, so Cooper Rush so far is 5 for 7.
Solid, which they expected. 5 for 7, yep.
5 for 7, 57 yards, so not a ton of offense.
Nope, they're doing, yep.
But basically through a quarter and a few minutes.
Yep.
Zeke is 6 carries for 19 yards.
3 yards a carry. What about Pollard?
Pollard's 1 carry for 14 yards. That's a good average.
I say so. God, these are spectacular, aren't they?
They are.
They're wonderful.
Dallas receiving. So CeeDee Lamb has 2 catches for 20 yards. And Brown. Who is this kid? Brown.
I don't know.
Against the Bengals, he was going off.
Yeah.
He's got 2 for 33.
Yeah, he's looked like a pretty good surprise for them.
Pollard doesn't have anything. He's got a...
Not yet.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's look at the defense. Where's Parsons?
Has he got anything yet?
Doesn't look like it.
Keep him quiet.
Why don't I see his name?
Micah Parsons, because he doesn't have a tackle yet.
Wow. That's... Oh, no, here he is.
Where is he? Got 1 tackle?
He's got 1 total tackle.
Okay. That's what you want.
That's what you need.
Okay. Keep him down the bottom of that list. Yeah.
Under 10, you're looking good.
You're looking pretty good. Okay. So that's good so far.
So Dallas does have a couple sacks. All right. So let's see what the Giants box looks like.
And Dallas has a good front four. Ain't just him. He's just the best one.
Yeah, well, I mean,
they got a couple.
In the trenches, they're usually good on both sides.
Yeah, they are.
So DJ is 8 for 13 for 77 yards.
Solid.
It's all right. Barkley's got 5 carries for 17 yards, kind of weak.
3 yards to carry. Well, the Cowboys are keying on him.
Yeah.
They are.
Daniel Jones has a couple rushes for 13 yards. Not bad.
Yep.
And then you have these receivers. D. Bellinger, I don't know who that is.
You have the hat on. You need to figure this out.
Dude, I haven't I told you I wanted to.
Yeah, I know.
I wanted to do this early because I haven't watched them yet this year.
I know. And they're 2-0.
Because every time they're on, they're like, there's all these other games on, and they're not on the
We don't
actual
expect them to
game.
win, but then they do.
So I'm hoping to watch the full second half.
Yeah.
But D. Bellinger, 3 catches for 34 yards.
Not bad, whoever he is.
Shepard's got 2 for 16.
Okay.
Saquon's got a catch for 13, which is nice.
Yep.
Kenny Golladay, nothing.
He was the one that was supposed
They
to
paid
be.
him a ton of money coming from Detroit.
Yeah,
He's done nothing.
he is the one that needs to freaking take his head out of his ass because, he was supposed to be a number 1.
Yeah.
He was. And Matthew Stafford gushed about him.
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford liked it.
I remember talking to DJ when the Giants signed him, and he said he's like Megatron in Detroit.
Matthew Stafford had high praise for him
Damn.
and sounded like he had a bright future. And he's disappeared.
He hurt his knee last year, and
that happens.
Maybe he hasn't been the same because of that.
Knees are tricky, but if you're younger, you heal quicker with them.
Yeah.
So it's about he's got 1 catch.
No catches.
He's got no catch. Well, they got it. All right. Well, they got to. He's got to get involved.
Gano missed a field goal.
Who, for the Giants? So you should be ahead.
Yeah.
Well, how far was the one he missed?
It says field goals 1 of 2. Long was 42. What doesn't it say?
Well, the long was he made the 42-yarder.
I'll have to look at the plays and see what it was.
You do that while I'm. Let me see.
Greg the Leg.
Greg the Leg.
No, that's Graham Gano. Sorry.
Yeah.
Greg Zuerlein is Greg the Leg.
Gotcha.
Missed field goal. Let's see. 11 plays, 59 yards. Graham Gano, 47-yard field goal blocked.
Oh, it was blocked. All right. Well,
So maybe
that's not his. The low. It's not. The line got beat.
Unless he kicked it too damn low.
Well, maybe the snap got bobbled.
Yeah.
There's a number of things going to happen there.
You never know.
So, all right. Anyway, the Giants are moving the ball at least, so they're getting in field goal, or at least in scoring position. So,
Jesus, what the hell?
Cowboys just kicked a field goal. The Cowboys just went ahead 6-3.
Yeah, it's showing Dallas. What the hell? It's showing Dallas at the Giants 10.
Well, they scored it's 4th and 3, so they already are up 6-3,
I guess so.
and they're about to go up 9-3 if they held them.
No,
the field goal happened.
Yeah, I don't know what the heck. I think it's just like the ESPN
They're behind.
ticker is weird.
Yeah. So Marr, the 20-yard field goal is good. So
Did they have a long kickoff? What the hell happened?
I don't know, but he made so it's 6-3. All right, 6-3 Dallas, 9:09 to go in the second period. I predicted the Giants were going to win this game before it started. I'm going to stick with that pick. I think the Giants are going to, but I thought it was going. I don't think it's going to be. This is going to be back and forth. I think they're going to win it late because they've established that with the coach. Kudos to the coach because this team's not going to tap out. They're going to fight. So, and by the way, as long as they're holding the Cowboys to field goals, that's okay. That's okay. But this Galladay, which is the name I forgot, he's got to get involved.
Yeah.
They got to get him involved.
But it almost seems like he's fallen out of the graces with the coaches.
Which is, by the way, that's possible.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, he was brought in
before this guy got there. So if a guy doesn't like his work ethic, and by the way, that's fine. The coach sees him every day. I don't. If this kid's not, he's saying, look, you get a lot of money, you need to freaking. I'm sure that conversation has probably happened.
Yeah.
Because Dayball, I know Dayball, so he's a pretty thorough guy, so I could see him saying, look, I don't care. I didn't pick you, so you have to pick a reason. You have to show me why I need to keep you. And look, this is the third game of the season. He hasn't really done much yet.
No.
Tonight would be a good night.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I've got the Giants winning this game. It's going to be a dawning. I don't know if they're going to get to 20. But if you want me to pick a score, I would say 24-21 Giants.
I hope you're right.
Okay? So you're not going to make it. Oh, you don't jinx it. I get it.
I mean,
Tom is going to.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
He's going to.
I mean, my God.
My reasoning is that I think the Giants are a second half team. They've proven that in their 2 wins. They've been better in this. It usually takes them about a half to figure out.
Half of football.
No, but that's actually a lot of teams do that. It takes them about a half. It's kind of like a boxing match. They take 4 or 5 rounds to figure out that, and then they come up with a plan or a counter plan to what they're doing. So that's common. All right, so if that's what they're doing and they're down 10-3 or 9-6 at the half, that's fine. That's not a big deal.
Well, they're about to get the ball back.
So see what they do.
6-3.
But I've got them 24-21. That's 10, but they may not break. So it might be 2017. It could be that.
Yeah. Okay. This is my negative sports fan coming out. Coming into this game,
it's bound to happen.
I thought it was literally impossible that the Giants wound up 3-0.
He did.
So
he did. That is
if
true.
I had to pick, I would say like the Cowboys are going to win this game. Mm-hmm. Probably like 21-9.
Mm-hmm.
If that's even possible now that the score is 6-3.
Is it possible?
It's probably not possible.
Well, 2-point conversion. Yeah. You never know. 7 field goals.
20-9.
7 field goals. 7 field goals would be 21.
Oh, that's true.
7 field goals.
Well, I mean, they're already
I'm just saying. So has it ever happened?
Dallas
I don't know.
7 and the Giants kicked 3.
There you go.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That might be almost as bad as a game we didn't talk about. Last night's game. 11-10.
You know, the fan in me stuck it out because I knew at some point.
I didn't watch.
Yeah, you were smart. I laughed. This is the thing. And in the middle of this game, by the way, one of the arguably the best offensive linemen in all of football, Trent Williams for the Niners, got knocked out of the game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So the powers that be over at ESPN and NFL Network just seem to forget about that because Jimmy G is supposedly supposed to put a cape on at that point. And the fumble at the end wasn't.
Seattle all over him after that?
You mean Denver?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Denver had a top 10 defense last year, and all these people who are bashing this guy were saying how good their defense was, and if they ever got a quarterback, look out. Well, Denver's in first place right now. It's almost like they forget everything they say. The good news for you people is I don't forget a damn thing they say. Okay? So they were saying this last year. Well, guess what? Denver's D is intact, and it's good. And you take out that all-world offensive tackle, Trent Williams, and things just get – I don't care who the quarterback is. That gets harder when you lose your best offensive lineman against a defense like that.
Yeah.
It was tough when he was on the field.
But does Russell Wilson suck now? I
No,
haven't watched him, but
he doesn't. But the thing is, like, he's in a new offense. It's going to take some time.
Well, that's a good point.
It's going to take some time. Okay, because if you've only known one offense for 10 years, Tom Brady – listen, here's the problem. Tom Brady has screwed this up for everybody. Because Tom Brady does things that people just can't do. Okay, he just does. He goes into a new offense. No offseason, COVID to boot. What do you Super Bowl, no problem. Okay, but he's one of one. Yeah. He's one of one. To Tom's point, he's one of one. I can't expect that out of any other quarterback because no other quarterback's ever done it.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. He's the only person that's ever done something like that. So to sit there and turn around and expect Russell Wilson, who's a good quarterback, he's a Hall of Famer right now. He's good, very good. But he's not Tom Brady.
Yeah.
He's just not Tom Brady. Nobody is. So, but they're struggling right now.
That's funny because
they're struggling, but they're 2-1 in first place. Hey, Denver, he's struggling, or they're struggling. By the way, that drive last night that won it, that was all Russell Wilson.
I didn't see it.
That drive last night.
Was it at the end of the game?
Yeah, for the one that put him ahead. For the first time, he looked like Russell Wilson, and he looked good, man. When he had to make these throws, they needed to win that game last night. And when it had to happen, he manned up and he got it done. And that's what you're looking for. Is when this guy has to, he proved he can do it. And he did it against an elite. San Fran has an elite defense.
Yeah.
They are a top 5 defense. And when he had to go down the field, he did it. And he did it with his arm, with his legs. He was smart. He did everything right. That was a perfect drive. That was a Russell Wilson drive. And there was no DK Metcalf out there, and he did it. Okay, so he can do it. He can do it.
Do you want to hear what a Danny Jones drive is?
Okay, I think I've already heard what it is.
According
to you?
Well, it's not necessarily all on Danny Jones, but
okay,
it's
what just happened? Because I have a feeling a bomb is about to be dropped.
No, it's not that bad.
What is it?
Is that DJ or Creek?
I don't know.
So
we're taping over here. Shut up. All right. No response. Probably Creek.
It is Creek. He made a fart sound.
Yeah, that's Creek. Anyway.
So the Giants just went 3 and out.
Okay.
They had
that was a Danny Dimes drive.
Illegal block. Because
Danny blocks too.
Yeah, it was a legal block on a receiver. Sent him back 10 yards. Next was a pass for -2 yards, and then an incomplete pass.
Okay.
So
they had 10-yard penalty off so it went from 1st and 10 to 1st and 20. Against that defense.
First and 19.
Which now knows you have to throw. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So, thanks, Giants.
Thanks, Giants. All right. But that's all right.
4th and 13 at the New York Giant 22.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Punting.
Yeah.
So, anyway, this is going to be a Donnybrook tonight. It's going to be low scoring. I'd be shocked if anybody hits 20. I'm saying 24-21 because I know what the Giants have done in the second half, at least the first 2 games. Here's the thing. Don't turn the ball over.
Yes,
the Giants are in this game as long as they don't turn the ball.
It'd be nice if they could get a turnover.
Well, they can because this guy is still. This guy's capable.
They haven't touched Cooper Rush yet.
It's not yet. Is the key word yet. Remember now, he's still a human being, and as long as this game stays close, the pressure goes up. Okay, as long as it stays close, and both sides feel it. The Cowboys have to win this game. They'll be 2 games back of the Eagles if they lose this game. And they have to play them.
The Eagles look good.
And the Eagles looked every bit as good as I thought they would. Okay?
Jalen Hurts is like...
I am the one who predicted the Eagles were going to win the NFC East this year.
You did.
And they look like it. And they look like
by
it.
a long shot.
Yeah. So the Cowboys can't lose this game either. So there's pressure on that kid to perform. So he's feeling it too. It ain't just Danny Dimes him. But the Giants are at home. I think the Giants have the better coach. I really do. Okay? And I think the key here is turnovers. Who's going to make them, who isn't, so that's what you're looking for tonight.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to let him go because I know he wants to go hop and go watch the rest of this game. But thank you for coming out tonight. Good recap of the weekend. We will be back on Wet by Whistle Wednesday. Hey, NBA is back. The judge is on the watch. So see if he can
let's just check that.
We can check that we're still in there, see if he's done anything.
Check judge.
Yeah.
The Nationals are really showing up to help the Mets out and are losing 8-0 at home to the Braves tonight. Thanks, Nats. I'm sure you'll show up to play the Mets.
Let's be honest. Week. They've already booked their reservations for Bora Bora and Tonga Tonga.
Yeah, but somehow the Mets will lose to them.
They're already half that team is already on a plane to someplace with a lot of palm trees. So to get out of here before they get lambasted by the fan base, what's left of them up there in D.C. So yeah, I don't expect a miracle from those guys.
Judge hasn't done anything yet.
No,
it's
2-2. I saw 2-2.
Let's see.
Yeah.
So and he doesn't come up. They got him batting lead off.
He's leading off. No, really?
That's what it shows.
The judge is leading. Is that true? No, wait a minute. He's not leading off, is he? Hold on. No.
Yes.
He's leading off.
It goes Judge, Rizzo, Torres, Donaldson, Stanton.
That's very interesting.
Cabrera, Bader. Are they trying to get him to see more pitches?
I don't know. Maybe.
Or they're trying to get him more chances to hit?
Maybe. Well, he's your best bat.
Yeah, but I mean,
he's
a fucking cleanup.
He
hitter.
Should be he's a cleanup hitter. I don't know.
He's batting .315.
Did he have a hit tonight? Did he have a hit?
Yeah.
I thought he was 2. He's 2. He's 1 for 2.
Yeah, he's 1 for 2.
Well, he's got a hit.
He's got a hit. He's got a run.
Yeah, so he's
got a walk.
Maybe it's going to work. Who knows?
Did you see? Shout out to my boy Pete Alonso. Became the Mets' all-time single-season RBI leader.
Tip of the cap,
Past
Mr.
Mike
Alonso.
Piazza.
Heck of a player.
He's got 128 RBIs on the season.
Heck of a player.
39 bombs.
Yeah. And he's not done.
No, he's not.
Those aren't going to be. I'm betting that ain't going to be his final numbers.
No, and big thing for the Mets. We'll talk about this quickly. So they have 2 with the Marlins tomorrow, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Yep.
So they're off Monday, Thursday.
Yeah.
So Braves are going to win tonight. There'll be a game back.
Okay.
They meet Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in Atlanta.
That's the big one.
That's the big one.
That's the big one.
It's the second to last series of the season.
That's the big one.
The weird part about it is
That's the big one.
Hurricane Ian is coming.
Yes, and they were talking about that with Tampa Bay because Tampa Bay's hosting the Chiefs down there. Are they going to play? Because it's going right through up that way. Yes.
And what happens if the Mets and Braves get rained out? There's nowhere to put those games.
They got to move it. They'll probably move it up to New York.
No way.
They got to get those games in. So we're being told by the production manager that we have to get out.
Wrap it up. But that's crazy to think about because, okay, so it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then they both play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The Braves play the Marlins and the Mets play the Nats. And then the playoffs start.
There is no way they're not playing those games. The question is where?
Or maybe the rain isn't that bad and they can get them
Well,
in.
here's the thing. These hurricanes, as they go over the land, they tend to get beat. They tend to dissipate over time. So
But
by
they
the time
can
it
bring a
gets to
lot of
them,
rain, though.
well, that's the thing. They got to have a backup plan. In fact, they're probably already planning it because this thing is probably in the path it's currently on.
Oh my God! Imagine
it's going to land right on that.
Play in some other stadium and Atlanta doesn't get their stupid.
Oh, that would be terrible.
They'd be like, no,
I know you'd be crushed. I know you'd be crushed
it's
by
not
that.
fair. We didn't get the tomahawk.
I know you'd be
chop."
inconsolable.
The Atlanta baseball team is pathetic. And they're also probably the most well-run organization in the league. But
They're one of them. Them and the Dodgers and the Yankees.
yeah, that's true.
So not the Red Sox this year, anyway. Last couple, actually. That is the redoubtable Tom Izzo. I am the highly questionable one, Arjun Miliech here. You guys have a great night. Man Up Monday. Hey, looking like a hell of a second half there and up in the MetLife Stadium. Check that one out. It's a big game tonight for both teams and for the NFC, which is not the least. Hey, that's not the worst division of football right now. It might just be the AFC West. Who would have thought? In any event, we will talk to you guys Wednesday night, Wet My Whistle Wednesday. A lot to talk about
AFC
then.
West.
And we will preview that big series between the Mets and the Braves for the weekend on Wednesday night. So until then, man up Monday, tip them back Tuesday. Get her done, people. We will see you midweek. Until then, stay loose.
Adios.